Okay, there we go. So good morning. We'll give them just a couple of uh, few more seconds to join in. Today's meeting will be a rather short meeting. Um, and so we'll give them just a few more moments to join in and we'll get started. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Can everyone hear me? Okay, good deal. So welcome everyone. My name is Ebony Russ, and I am one of the program managers for the Placement and Residential Licensing Unit. And we're here today to have our a PRLU monthly provider call, which is always the first Thursday of each month. And if you're able, if you could please turn on your camera so I can see your lovely face and get to know you all. I have been making it an effort to try to go out to facilities that I have not visited before, and I am getting to know quite a few of you all that way, but I do not know everyone. So if you could please turn on your camera, it would be very much appreciated. Um, and so we'll go ahead and get started. And also for those who are on by phone, if you could just let us know who you are, that'll help me out too as well. I have an 870-219 number and then a 501-837 number. So if you can check in or just type your name in the chat box, we really would appreciate it. So we'll go ahead and get started again. Thank you all for joining this meeting. The meeting will not be held long, but I do want to start by saying thank you so much for everything that you do with children and youth in your agency or in your foster homes. So thank you very much and kudos to what you do. Um, we want to go ahead and get started with our updates. And I'll let Ms. Kayla Bodie from the background check unit get started. I think she may have one or two updates for you all.
Yeah, good morning. So thank you, Ebony, for having us come on. So I do have an update. I'm sure most of you are already aware. Last week on Thursday, we were approved to update our consent forms. So most of you have already seen it, but now when you request a background check and you complete the consent form document, it's going to email to you or to the applicant, however you choose to process that. The what used to be 3-page consent, it will now only be 2 pages. So you are no longer required to get that form notarized. It is just going to be a signature page, and that's it. So you may have already seen that. You don't need to do anything on your end differently. When you click the same link that you've been using, it is automatically updated. There should be a little message at the top that tells you this is only going to be 2 pages. So if you have any questions, let us know, but you do not need to get that notarized. This does not apply to the adult and child maltreatment. The central registry has not updated their forms. I'm not sure a timeline on when that will happen for their division. So we hope that that will happen as well to help you all out. But for now, the criminal background check does not need to be notarized any longer. So I'm going to put my information in the chat box and the link to our website so that you have that link for the form, the fingerprint scheduling application, and any other information regarding background checks. So if you have any questions, give me a call, send me an email. I'll be happy to answer those. Most of you probably talk to Cynthia Smith on the regular basis. You can email or call her as well. Any questions about the consent form update?
This is Charlie Arnold with Southern Christian Home. We have some forms that we sent out to our prospective clients and they haven't got them back yet. They're getting them notarized. Can we still use that same form, or do we need to send a new form?
Yeah, so if you've already started with that old form, you can continue with that.
Great.
You're not gonna get penalized or not approved because of that old form. Just going forward, you can use the new one, but yeah, if you've already started that process, go ahead and upload that old 3-page notarized form. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, if there's no other questions, and if you have a question, you can always email or call me. But if there's no other questions, that's the only update that I have, Ebony. If anyone needs any guides or assistance with background checks, if you have any new staff that are going to be running background checks for you, send me an email. We have some great guides, some PDF documents that we can send you that can help with that. So other than that, I'll hand it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kayla. Really do appreciate it. So most of you are doing really good. If you have any questions for the background check unit, you know to either reach out to them directly, or you'll go through your licensing specialist or contact me. So keep up the good work in that manner. So another update concerns ELS. So we were provided with information that the providers can print their 521 reports now. There was an issue a few months ago where they couldn't print them out. So you should have that capability of doing so. And if you do not, just please let us know and we can take that back to the IT team. So if you need to be able to print out your 521 reports that you receive from your licensing specialist, you should be able to do so now. Okay, so just briefly, I know it's towards the end of the school year for most youth. And I just wanted to ask if there were any facilities who had children or youth that attended any type of prom or end of the year dance, or can you let us know how that went, or were they not able to go because of certain issues? Anybody want to share that information?
I will share. We just had a young lady that's a senior this year. She'll be graduating, and she was one of the honorees at the governor's mansion this past weekend. So that was really an awesome celebration for her and for the foster family as well.
Good,
And
good,
actually,
very good.
this young lady has been working on independent living, and she has held a job for the past year and has done well. So we're real excited about what's going on with her, and she's planning to join the National Guard, and then she has some other options too.
Good job, good job. Constavella, can you
Yes.
let us know again what agency you're with?
Treatment homes.
Treatment Homes, very good, good job. Anybody else have any graduates or anybody that experienced the prom?
We had one that experienced a prom, and she looked absolutely gorgeous and everything went well. And then excuse me, in that same home, there's a kid that the foster parents' niece, I guess, needed a date. And so her foster son took her on the date to the prom. Excuse me. And so that went really well. He looked so handsome. It was a beautiful couple. Yeah, they're not boyfriend, girlfriend, but you know, he was just her date for the prom. So that worked out really well.
Really good. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Anyone else? Or did your agency have its own prom or anything like that?
Now, we had a girl, she wasn't a senior, she's a junior that was wanting to go, and she just happened to be moved like a week before. So we worked it out to where she got to come back and stay the night in the school. I got with the school and they let her come back, and she got to bring a date as well. It was somebody that I guess her boyfriend or whatever that was from out of town. So his mom and dad brought him down. They sit in the parking lot for about 2 hours while they did prom, and they had like a really good time. And just at first she couldn't get a hold of him. He quit. I guess maybe he was in the car and didn't have Wi-Fi. So she was trying to call him, and she couldn't get him. And I do photography, so I did the banquet pictures, and then my husband and I left. And we went to eat, so I thought, we'll take her and her boyfriend out to eat, with us, but he didn't make it. She was like really nervous and scared that he wasn't gonna make it, but when he called and said he was there, she just lit up and smiled and took off running, so it was they had a good time, and I got lots of pictures of them, so it was really a good night for her. They both had a really good time, so.
All right.
She had to come back, they found, her caseworker and them had to work the weekend to get her here and then pick her back up on Sunday. So I was really grateful for that as well, for them doing what they did.
Let
Okay.
me pause the.
Hold on just a second. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Miss Tammy. I really do appreciate it. So I asked you those things because we really want to keep in mind that children and youth in your homes or in your facilities should be able to have the same types of experiences as they would have had if they were in their home environments. And so thank you again for making it able for those youth to have those types of experiences. So again, you're doing a really good job. So keep up the good work. I appreciate it. Okay, so now we want to talk about our brief discussion. And it's a certain question. It does not necessarily require an answer, but I just wanted to bring this topic up because it did come across, and I try to bring issues to you all's attention as I receive an experience or some information regarding it. So today's discussion topic is, do you have a toxic work environment? Again, no response needed, but think about those things. So we do know that, toxic is it's a general feeling of negativity and unhealthy competition or aggression in the work environment. And there are some signs of that you can kind of take notice to that maybe our agency or our home is getting a little bit toxic. If you're noticing that there are some micromanagement issues, there are cliques in your agency, there are passive aggressive co-workers or bosses, there are some little microaggressions that are thrown around. If you hear your staff talk about low pay all the time, co-workers who others may think is getting away with inappropriate behavior, or the lack of growth opportunities, that they may feel that that's their experience. So I wanted to discuss with you all, and then, if you could please give me some feedback. Are there any other signs that you have noticed, or that you think could create a toxic work environment? Feel free to share.
Well, for us here, and I'm kind of new here, but I have noticed, how the kids, kind of like how husband and wife, they try to work the workers against, and I just got to having a conversation with our employees that, we do stuff to each other sometimes, but the kids don't need to know about it. Or
Right.
if we have something that an employee did, the kids don't need, that's not part of that. You discuss that outside of, not in front of the kids, because they're going to, and I try to tell them, they're going to see that and they're going to be like, aha, I know we can work them. So I have noticed that a couple of times, and I've been trying to address it, hit it head on as soon as we do, so that we don't. And I keep telling people, we got to work together. We got to come together. We're working, for the good of our children. We can't have that negativity with our kids, because that's just going to, spill over into them. So I have noticed that a little bit, but hopefully we can stay on top of that. That's the main thing that I've noticed, just with yeah, she's doing this and he's doing that, or let me tell them this one and that, so that's our main thing, I think.
Very good. And so I do notice or I have noticed that, kids or youth, they're always watching adults. Like no matter, I mean, you could think you are clean head to toe, they gonna find something to like, tear you down real quick. Like they're always watching everything that you do. So keep that in mind if you are noticing that there's some type of toxicity, I don't know if that's a word, in your workplace or even in your foster homes. If you're the foster agency and you're getting reports of maybe the foster parents are having some issues, can't so let's take that for an example. So a foster agency, you're getting reports that the foster parents are having some issues. What are ways that you could try to address um, those concerns? Because in all, it could have an effect on, the youth in that home if they're seeing those types of behaviors. So would anyone from the foster agencies like to respond? Or is everything okay in all of your foster homes? No issues? And if there are, how do you keep it that way?
Well, I'll say in a couple of my past foster homes, I have had parents who, although I talked to them before I ever told them a kid about everybody being on the same page parent wise, when the kid is there, I start to see some strife between the parent. One's more lenient than the other. One is really consistent, and the other one not so much. And the kids do see it, and I hear about it when I go and visit with the kiddo. So my philosophy's always been just to confront it head on. I sat down with the parents away from the kids and say, I have said to one, I'm pretty blunt, and I say, listen, I don't really care how y'all go about getting on the same page, but you are going to get on the same page because that's what's best for my kid. Y'all can go out and duke it out in the yard for all I care. But when it comes to my kid, we are going to be on the same page. So I just confront it head on, and it doesn't take long to figure out which one is the problem. So usually they're willing and they'll admit once they know they're caught, yeah, I'm a little more lenient than I should be. So then I just start to work with them and say, okay, I'm so glad you've acknowledged that. Now, how are we going to prevent that from happening? And I've had good luck.
Well, good. So we always want to make sure that we are keeping in mind that like your staff, foster parents, they're humans too. And so sometimes they have things going on outside of work that may trickle into their work environment. And the purpose of this is for you all to recognize when there may be a concern with your foster parent or with someone on your staff. Um, are there ways that you um, like acknowledge your staff or your foster parents? Like, do you have any type of appreciations, or is it just work, work, work strictly with those foster parents or your staff?
Oh, I'm a huge proponent on, um, you know, telling them they're doing a good job because this is the hardest job. I don't think I could even do the job that they're doing. So I constantly am, trying to build them up. And we do offer several times during the year just a little gift card so mom and dad can go out to dinner while I've got the kids in session, or um, you know, a little Christmas gift, popcorn or cook, just something to let them know that we do see their hard work and we do appreciate them. And I try to remember each time I'm in the home to brag on these parents.
Thank you. Mhm.
Evan, at Forest City, I do know, I agree, affirmation does work. For example, last month, we did, we celebrated Social Work Month and acknowledged the therapists. Tomorrow we'll be acknowledging the LPCs and the case managers and activity coordinators. We got them some gifts like some T-shirts and cups and, take pictures and kind of make them feel special. And I think that works. And we're also other department heads, so they have like teacher week and nursing week, and I know Charlotte and everybody, we had admin day, and so we really are trying to acknowledge the different specific departments. Even to a shout out email, flowers, just sometimes small a gift card. And I think, the behavior you pay attention to grows. So I think when we really, affirm them as well as we hold them accountable, it really does help.
We have been doing special things for particularly our staff. We celebrate everyone's birthday, and it is a really, really big deal. We decorate the conference room and their colors, and we select the cake that they like, or and buy them things. We get a list from them and we buy them gifts and actually have a birthday party, and we play games as a staff. And that is a really big deal because among the staff, they even count the number of gifts that each staff member gets to make sure that I don't get more from one than I do the other. So it's really a sort of a family kind of competition that's going on, but they really feel special. We take pictures. We acknowledge Social Work Month in March, and also for the birthday celebration, they get to select what they'd like to have for lunch that day. And we order in lunch. We used to go out for lunch, but we started ordering in because we could stay longer and we could play games and do those kind of things. So the staff really looks forward to that. And they start planning for their birthdays like a month ahead of time and make sure that I know what they want for their birthday. And it's a really big deal. And we also try to acknowledge the foster parents on their birthdays. We don't have a big party like we do for the staff, but we send birthday cards and always send them a text message that morning. Also, our foster parents, one of them will get to go to our National Foster Parent Conference, and we'll pay expenses for them to attend the National FFDA, the Treatment Foster Care Conference. And this summer it's going to be in Columbus, Ohio. So one of our lucky parents will get to go to that conference. And then in June, Treatment Homes will be celebrating 40 years, and we will have our big anniversary celebration at the Clinton Library. We've always had it at the Governor's Mansion before, but this year it will be at the Clinton Library. So our foster parents are special and recognized at the anniversary celebration as well. And they get gifts and recognition and all of that, as well as our staff. So those are some of the things that we're doing.
Very good, Ms. James. Thank you for sharing that information. Again, so I wanted to take the time to discuss today's topic, which is, do you have a toxic work environment? Just so you could be aware of some of the things that could create a possible work environment. And we kind of discussed those things, like concerns with your staff saying like there's slow pay, micromanagement, cliques, passive aggressive behaviors, coworkers getting away with inappropriate things. But you also let us know that there are ways to avoid creating a toxic environment. And we heard from you all that you discussed like affirmations, confronting issues head on, like away from the youth because they're always watching. Bragging on your staff, celebrating them, having birthday parties. So those are all good things that you can do to prevent or not create a toxic work environment. So I hope you all have some type of plan. I know for the agencies, most of you have like many staff, and it could be somewhat difficult to manage all of those people and their behaviors. But for the most part, as long as you remember to just keep that as a focus of how you want to your facility to operate. So just keep that in mind. And that really concludes our topic discussion for today. I did want to recap just because we had a few people that joined in a little after I made the announcement about the ELS. So for those who are wanting to print their 521s from ELS, you should be able to do so. They did let us know that that does work now. If it does not work for you, then just let us know and we'll report it back up to IT. Okay. All right, does anyone have any questions for the licensing unit, or is there anything that we could research for you all and get back with you? Okay, so for the month of May, there is just a really, well, I say it's a simple project, and this is for any of your youth who would like to cooperate, or not cooperate, participate, is that they can create a vision board. They can create a vision board. You guys can take a picture of it and email it to me and just have them submit some type of little summary concerning their vision board. And I'll accept this all through the month of May. So anyone who wants to participate, feel free to do so. If not, then we'll just think of something else for the month of June. Our next Child Welfare Agency Review Board meeting will be held on June 28th. It will be here in Little Rock in conference rooms A and B. All right, so if there are no more questions or
Excuse me, Ebony, what's
Yes,
the
ma'am.
age group for the vision board?
I would say 10 to 18. And if I think everyone has my email, but if you don't, then you can reach out to your licensing specialist and I can send that information out to you. So just creating any type of vision board, give me a summary, take a picture of it, and then just email it to me. I try to respond back to the youth as I receive information. So just let me know. Okay, so that really ends our meeting for today. I really do appreciate all the feedback. It was very helpful. And I will see you guys in June. So have a great rest of the week.
Thank you.